Hello, welcome to another edition of the Pace Report. I'm Brian Pace, reporting from BB King's here in New York City. Jeff Bradshaw has been a very important, if not made a very important dent in the R&B and pop field as an accomplished session musician, backing the likes of Erykah Badu, The Roots, Michael Jackson, Earth, Wind & Fire, just to name the endless few. As you might know, this gentleman has led his own band for well over 12 years, and this gentleman has fused a hodgepodge of gospel, R&B, as well as hip-hop and jazz in his shows. Now, he's carrying out the great lineage of tromboners, ranging from the great Fred Wesley to the great J.J. Johnson and Slide Hampton. Tonight he's performing music from his last couple of recordings, and I had a chance to sit down and break bread with Mr. Bradshaw to talk about his origins growing up in Philadelphia. Also, you might know, last year he had suffered from a very bad illness, and he's now performing sporadically and getting back on track. We talked about that, as well as talk about some of his musical influences, as well as some of the famous collaborations that he's recorded and performed with. So sit back, relax, and enjoy highlights of Mr. Jeff Bradshaw, performing live here at BB King's as part of the Pace Report, reporting here in New York City.
Are you ready to have a good time? Come on, put your hands together. Come on. Put your hands together. Come on, y'all. This is my first hand on the show. Come on, put your hands together. Listen, everybody say back in the day. 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 Everybody say back in the day. Say back in the day. Say back in the day.
Jeff, I have followed you for probably the last 25 years, man. I mean, and I followed you in so many musical amalgamations, from Erykah Badu to Earth, Wind & Fire to Jill Scott, The Roots, and then you doing this. First of all, let's tell everybody about this album, this live album. This is a project, man, that has a hodgepodge of some of the best talent out there.
It's a live album executive produced by Robert GLASPER. We did it in Philadelphia. I called 12 of my good friends to be a part of what I felt like was a statement record in my 20-year career thus far. We recorded it in Philadelphia in the Kimmel Center, where the Philadelphia Orchestra performs, and it was really, really important to me to do it there, and it was really, really important to do it live, because people always talked about, I've heard your music, but when I saw you live, I really got it. So it was really important for me to record the album live, and to call upon Kim Burrell and Take Six and Bilal and Robert GLASPER and Tweet and Eric Roberson and Will Downing and Kenny Lattimore and Trombone Shorty, and I mean, to be able to call on your friends and put together a work like this, to be able to call Najee and say, I want you to be a part of this live album, it was a blessing I mean, that record has been a blessing, just not to me, but to so many others. And it's an amazing, amazing work.
You know, the most stirring track on the record is Kim Burrell's performance. And it's emotional, it's spiritual.
Yeah.
But I think when you talking to me and listening to the album, it kind of puts you full circle of everywhere where you started and where you're getting ready to go musically.
Yeah, I mean, I started playing in church, in a church called United House of Prayer for All People, and that's where I was born at. And then went on to do to tour the world musically and do other things musically, and tour with so many great artists and record with so many great artists. And but it's funny, ironically, where the Kimmel Center is, I used to play on the street corners at Broad and Chestnut, which is 3 blocks from where the Kimmel Center is. And I remember looking at a newspaper article when I was 13 years old, and it talked about me and the gospel brass band that I was playing with at the time on the corner at Broad and Chestnut, and how just 3 blocks away, 37 years ago, I was on that street corner. And then 37 years later, I was headlining my own live recording concert at the Kimmel Center, 3 blocks away. Yeah.
Robert Glasper has been a very important person on the music scene over the last decade. What's it like collaborating with your friend, and tell me how you guys met?
You know, I don't remember where me and Rob met, because we had been on so many of the same sets, you know, on the soul music and hip hop set. But we became friends instantly, and that is my friend. And, you know, so when you're working with your friend, it's not work. Me and Rob, we sat at Virgil's Barbecue for about 10 hours and mapped out this whole record, who should sing what, where it should fall in the show, how we should do it. You know, he said, come on up to New York and let's just sit, you know, around some barbecue and kind of mastermind this thing. And it was just 2 friends eating barbecue, talking about how it should feel and which artist should sing what, you know. And that's what it was. It was just an afternoon of 2 friends getting together, putting together the greatest musical work of my career. Jeff, I'm a soul guy, I'm a jazz guy, and I'm a hip-hop guy. And the first time I heard your very first record, I said, boy, Fred Wesley and J.J. Johnson should be smiling right about now, because you take elements of what Fred did funk-wise with the JBs and Funkadelic, but you also take some of the rich tradition of the jazz greats like Slide Hampton and J.J. Johnson. Your father was very instrumental in helping you find your voice. Yeah, it was, I mean, J.J. Johnson, Fred Wesley, as far as I'm concerned, they're the best that ever was. that ever played the instrument. And in their perspective, idioms. But Fred Wesley is my favorite because he's also a jazz head, but he's just the master of funk and jazz on trombone, and obviously his arrangements with James Brown helped cultivate the hip hop sound, and my father was a trombone player, played trumpet and tuba, and so I was kind of born with what I have. I'm self-taught. A lot of people don't know that I'm self-taught. That I didn't go to an accredited university. I was born with what I have, and I just cultivated, and I'm a sponge and took lessons here and there. But I'm blessed to be where I am in my career, and I don't take it for granted. And but my father, the late great Norman Bradshaw, who I lost about 5 years ago, he was the person that really made me want to be a musician, because he was a great singer, a great musician, and he just had such command in front of people, musically, such command. And I admired that so much. I just wanted to be just like him.
You know what's crazy? Going back to Fred Wesley. Fred Wesley also played with Count Basie, the Count Basie Orchestra, right before he died. And, musically, moving forward, man, Philadelphia has also been a great hotbed of great young musicians. You, Christian McBride, Joey DeFrancesco, Questlove. Tell everybody why Philadelphia is so rich musically, as well as why it produces so many greats. Benny Golson, I can go on and on. The Heath Brothers.
Why? I don't know. It must be something in the soil or in the water. But I'm just glad to be from Philly, and I'm glad to be standing on the shoulders of those great legends and great singers and musicians and iconic producers and writers that have come from my city, that have represented and said what Philly has to say about music, and on so many different genres and on so many different platforms. I'm glad to be standing on their shoulders and saying what I have to say about music coming out of Philly. I'm proud to be from there. We got something in my city, man, that you can't get nowhere else. And I'm just trying to continue that, and that lineage and take it further around the world.
Some of the many musicians I've interviewed on the Pace Report, man, y'all so humble, especially Bilal. That brother's a beautiful brother, and he's got a beautiful spirit.
Yeah, Bilal, we go back 20 years as well. I remember Bilal singing in church, man, like singing to the heavens. And he's just a higher being, man. Bilal is, I was just listening to him and playing with him last Saturday at the Apollo with Rob GLASPER and Jill Scott for Robert GLASPER's Unapologetically Black, the Afro-Punk show at the Apollo. And I was just standing on the side of the stage, just like in amazement that guy is definitely an instrument. Come on, put your hands together, put your hands together, put your hands together, put your hands together. Come on, put your hands together. Come on, come on, come on.
You know, some of the most important parts of your musicianship, besides being a leader, you're a music director too. You've been the music director for Floetry, and that role is very different because you are leading a group for a group of women. And I want you to tell people the difference between leading a band and also directing a band.
Well, the musical director is the person who puts together the arrangements, and the band follows their direction, you know. And it was a role that it was my first time being a musical director for a major act. But it was a great experience. But again, Marcia and Natalie of Floetry were my sisters. But I respected the chair. I respected the musical director chair. And I made sure that I did what I had to do professionally to make sure that they were pleased. Because even though they're your friends, sometimes that can get in the way of, for some people, not me, you know, but that can get in the way of giving the artist the best of what they deserve and what they need. And it was a great experience, and I'm forever thankful that they gave me the opportunity and entrusted that in me to be the musical director of Floetry on solo trombone. You know, something R&B had never seen, you know, I mean, outside of funk music with Fred. You know, how many R&B touring national acts have a trombone player, solo trombone player, and he's the musical director? So that was a blessing, and I'm humbled by it all, you know, but it was a great responsibility, and we had a great time, and it was a great experience for me.
Jeff, you played with two of my heroes. First of all, I want to ask you, first hero is Michael Jackson, Butterfly, and Marsha Ambrosius was another. She wrote the song, but you know, people around the world, that's you playing that horn solo. And I'd have to ask you, you know, going into the studio, what was that like? And also, you being a session musician, how did you feel being a young brother at the time performing for somebody like this?
Well, actually, it was a great opportunity because Andre Harris and Marsha, I think Andre produced the song, Marsha wrote it, and they let me hear it. They were on their way back to New York. We were working on some other music, and they let me hear the song in the car, and I hummed the horn line to them. And they were like, "Oh, we got to do that tonight." So we went back in the studio, and myself and Matt Cappy, we put Bone and Flugel on it, and the song floated. And I was told by Marsha and Dre that, you know, when Mike heard it, he immediately acknowledged, raised his hands in the air and said, "The horns, the horns, the horns." So that was a great experience.
You know, another one of my heroes, Maurice White, God rest his soul. Yeah, I'm in the process of reading his autobiography right now. And the thing, I'm 44 years old, and listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire with my dad as a kid, and me getting older and understanding the concept, everything that he did, you going into the studio with these guys, I mean Maurice and Verdine, that had to be a whirlwind experience. And then on top of that, they had you arrange the horn track for that album, Illumination, that one track.
I mean, I'm a horn player. Are you kidding? You get the opportunity to record a song with Earth, Wind, and Fire. The song called Elevated, featuring Floetry, produced by Keith Peltzer and Darren Henson. Maurice, Philip Bailey, and Verdine was in the studio. We didn't just record on an Earth, Wind, and Fire song. We recorded the horns on an Earth, Wind, and Fire song in front of Earth, Wind, and Fire. So that was a great experience. I have a great picture from that recording session. Once again, at the right place, at the right time, with the right gift, I've truly been blessed.
you know, the mid 1990s was the beginning of the neo soul movement, and you and James Poyser and Questlove, you guys were part of that beginning. And Erykah Badu's gothic album, Baduism, we all know about that now. It's a masterpiece. But in the mid 1990s, musically, man, did you ever in a million years think that you guys now, looking back at this, because we're looking almost 20, 25 years now, that you guys had put a dent on music history?
I knew that it was special, but I had no idea that it was going to be, that we were in the midst of what we were doing. I just wanted to make sure that I was doing what I was supposed to do. I wasn't really thinking about that there was magic being created and this would be legendary, or this artist would be iconic. I had no idea. I just knew that Questlove and that James had called me to work on this song or a couple songs with this girl named Erykah from Dallas. That's as far as I knew. And so I came in, met Erykah. She was as kind and as humble and as sweet as she is now. And I just saw her recently, last summer, and she was on tour, came through Philly. And she was just like, wow, Jeff, it's been, I was like, yeah, I haven't seen you in a long time. You know, but I was like, you still bad. She's still bad. You still amazing. And it was just fun to watch. And we talked about Other Side of the Game, the song I played on. And she said, yeah, we still do Other Side. I said, yeah. So I still love that song. And when I tell people, man, you know, I played the horns on the Other Side of the Game. On Erykah Badu, they're like, what? I'm like, yeah. Once again, a blessing and humbling to be a part of something, and a beautiful song that was, you know, produced by James Poyser and the Roots.
Yeah. Jeff, you were sitting, you're looking healthy, brother.
Yeah.
You scared everybody a little bit last year, man. I mean, what happened? Tell everybody what went down. I mean, I know it was a scare for you, but people, your friends came through with the GoFundMe to help you out a little bit, and you look well, man.
It was, I'm blessed, man. It was 4 months ago. It was, I was getting ready for a concert with Will Downing and Gerald Veasley and Carol Riddick, and I, you know, kind of collapsed and had to, you know, go to the hospital, and was diagnosed with a severe case of diverticulitis. And my whole world changed. My whole life has changed and has not been the same. I was down for 4 months. Jill Scott launched a GoFundMe page for me, Live Jeff Live, and did a benefit concert for me a few weeks ago because I wasn't able to work, you know. But I have to have surgery the end of March, beginning of April. They're going to remove about 16 inches of my large intestines, and diverticulitis is rough, but I live and eat by a plant-based diet. You know, light chicken, light fish, water, cranberry juice, that's pretty much it. And just came from poor fiber dieting. You know, low fiber. I need high fiber dieting. We all need high fiber in our diets, plant-based diets. Lots and lots of water, lots of green vegetables and salads, you know. Yeah, it was, it's been an interesting ride. But I'm, you know, to God be the glory. I'm here. I'm playing my 5th show back, and I'll be down again for a month when I have the surgery, just for a month, the month of April. And I'll be back on the road in May. But I am truly blessed and thankful. But so many people came to my aid, and you know, you never know how many friends you got or what you have until you're down. And I'm truly blessed with the friends and the support of so many fans and people that I've never met that just were fans of my music, that were generous enough to help me along the way. And I'm blessed to be here tonight headlining my first show in New York at BB King's with my special guest, Algebra Blessed. So it's been life-changing, and I'm very happy to be able to continue to do what I do and to educate people on diverticulitis.
Jeff, this is the last question, the hardest one. I ask this to everybody. Jeff Bradshaw, what does music mean to you?
Music is my life. It's the universal language that helps me to communicate with people around the world, no matter the nationality or ethical background or religious background. It's a way that God blessed me to communicate with people around the world. It's His voice. I believe that God is love, and if God is love, then music is love as well. Then we're spreading love throughout every language, throughout every nationality, throughout every corner of the globe. Just expressing the love of God and the love of patience and loving and understanding and peace and kindness and tenderness. All of those things that I believe God is. I believe this gift came from Him, and if it came from Him, then it's full of nothing but love. And if I'm spreading it, then I'm spreading love.
That'll do it again for another edition of the Pace Report. I'm Brian Pace, reporting from BB King's here in New York City. I'd like to personally thank the talented Mr. Jeff Bradshaw for his time. Make sure you go out and support and buy his latest CD, Home, which was recorded live at the Kimmel Center in Philadelphia. Also, I'd like to personally thank the staff and management here at BB King's for their warm hospitality. Also, the wonderful talents of Mr. Robert GLASPER. As always, please visit my website, www.thepacereport.com, for my weekly column, as well as my past segments. Until next time, remember, if it's in the groove, it'll make you move. Until next time, peace.